All right, so as we're continuing to go into the new year, fixed on the Lord, fixed on things of God, I wanted to talk about another kingdom principle. This one is also found in Mark chapter 4, verses 30 through 32. And this is a popular one, but man, something stood out to me that I wanted to share with you. This is the parable of the mustard seed. Let's go ahead and just read it real quick. It says this, starting with verse 30. And he said, "With what can we compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable shall we use for it?" First of all, that's really interesting that he starts this parable like he's basically saying, like, what could I even compare this thing to? Like the kingdom of God, like, he's given some parables. He's just saying, hey, man, there's nothing that can compare it to. But then he goes on to say this, and listen to this. He says, "It is like a grain of mustard seed, which when sown on the ground is the smallest of all seeds on earth." Think about that for a minute. He's saying, what can we compare the kingdom of God, like this amazing thing that is uncomparable? And what does he compare it to? A mustard seed. Now check it out. Okay, I'm just kind of building it up here. Okay, then he goes on to say in verse 32, yet when it is sown, it grows up and becomes larger than the garden plants and puts out larger branches so that the birds of the air can make nests in its shade. All right, so here's what he's saying, right? He's saying, first of all, what can we compare the kingdom of God to? Man, it's uncomparable. But let's go ahead and try. And what he says is, think about the mustard seed, the smallest of seeds. When it's full grown, it creates this large tree that provides branches and things like that, right? And for the birds and all that stuff. So here's the point. Here's the point that I wanted to bring up, and here's the point that spoke to me. Is the power of maturity. The power, let me put it like this, the power of being full grown. See, it doesn't matter what you have. It really doesn't. You can have, the smallest of gifts, but that gift, full grown, will provide immense provision, resources, protection, safety, all these kind of things for other people. So listen, for a lot of us, we say, man, I'm not too talented. I don't have this gift. I don't speak too well. We compare ourselves to others and we go, this person's better at doing it. I don't know as much. I'm not as qualified, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why I say blah, blah is because that's all just excuses. The reality is that whatever you have, full grown. Now catch that. That's where you need to catch that. Whatever you have, full grown, can provide multiple resources, multiple ways of salvation, multiple ways of impact, multiple ways of influence, provision. That's what he's saying here. So just to recap, he's saying, man, we can't compare the kingdom of God to really anything, but let's go ahead and try. Take this incredibly small seed, and when it's full grown, this is what it can do. So I want to encourage you today. Are you going towards the direction of becoming full grown? Are you doing what it takes? Are you being disciplined? Are you working towards becoming full grown in your gift, in whatever God has given you? Because listen, God has given you things. Now, you may not think that they're, great things. Chances are you probably don't, because none of us do. We always feel insecure. We always, compare ourselves to other people. But listen to this, man. You have a much greater mandate. And that mandate is this: to take what God gave you and mature it to make it full grown. And it shows right there that that's a kingdom principle, that when we take whatever we have and we mature it, we do the hard stuff, we face our fears, we continually go forward and not against it. When we do those things, man, there is an awesome promise at the end. And who knows what that could turn into? Who knows what could come of that? I mean, the principle is right there. So many things can come from what you first thought was maybe just a little talent or maybe just a little gift. Crazy, amazing things can come from it. So listen, let me encourage you with this. Use what God gave you. Continue to mature, continue to grow, and I have no doubt it will produce some amazing things.